Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And today is not gameplay focused. We are instead talking about my three biggest complaints that I have with slime. I've been playing the game since day zero. I've got a lot of experience. I've seen what they have done from the release of the game until now, and while they have done a lot of good things to, help player retention, there are also a lot of things that they could do better to ensure that this game has a very long lifespan. Now, as a disclaimer, these are my three biggest things that I have issues with. There are other issues that you and other players may have with it. Crystal income, blah blah blah, stuff like this. I don't know. You all have your own opinions, but these are three major things that I think are very fixable that I wish they would just implement, and it would make, I think, everyone's life just a little bit better. So if you have other suggestions, other ideas of how to improve this game, please put them in the comments. Let's make this a really nice discussion, and that way when the next user survey comes out, we can really dig deep and try and make this game better, because they have proven that they do listen to our opinions. Like, they have made quality of life changes and such things based on direct feedback from those user surveys. So if we can get this video, and make it nice and, get a lot of opinions that are well constructed and thought out and not give me more fucking crystals, you stupid devs, I think we can actually make an impact. So, the first thing that I want to start out with is the skill fusion feature. The process of making old units a little bit better than what they used to be. And so let's take, for example, this Light Millum. It's currently the New Year's meta. As I'm recording this, you may watch this later on, I don't know. But she is a unit that has a skill fusion, which changes an effect of one major skill into a different effect. It'll build upon the basics of what the skill already used to do and make it a little bit better. So this right now is a 45% light attack buff, or attack buff for anybody, and a 30% light resistance down. And if you fuse this skill, it now becomes a it becomes an AoE 30% resistance down, right? Yeah. So it goes from a single target's light resistance to an AoE light resistance, which means that there's multiple enemies and you have an AoE ult, you can do more damage to everybody instead of just one of them. I wouldn't really call that a good skill fusion, all right? That's already an issue, is that most skill fusions are not created equal. Some of them are really, really good. Let's take Light Shizu, for example. Was a healer, and used to just debuff, attack. And now, after the skill fusion, she also gives everybody an 80% chance to guard for 2 turns. This used to be a 1-turn attack debuff, and it used to have not guard. You used to not guard at all. And now both are up to 2, and you get 80% chance to guard. That is an incredible, incredible buff to a unit that was very defensive focused. She's a healer, she's nerfing, now she's guarding, so she's preventing you from taking a lot of damage and healing you back up. That is a lot better than, say, a DPS focused character like Fire Violet. Well, let's try and find her. Fire Violet, who I haven't even skill fused her yet because it's pretty not great. Because it just goes from a 10 or a 20% attack buff at, level 10. So burn for 20 and attack for 20 for 2 turns. And it becomes a burn for 20 and 30% attack for 2 turns. Like, an extra 10% attack is not the end of the world. And it's definitely not making this unit from, an old 1-year-old unit to, now game-breaking meta exclusive again, right? But the bigger problem I have with skill fusions is the requirement to dupe them to level 100 before you can even attempt to skill fuse them. So, this Shensha, this Alice, this Light Millum, I cannot skill fuse her because she is not level 100, right? Insufficient character level 100 required. And that is for all of the old characters, level 100. And if you're a newer player, and that might be I don't know what that means, it means you must fully dupe them out. Not just pull the initial copy, because they start at level 80. You must then pull 5 more dupes, or shard her up 5 times to level 100, before you can actually get the skill fusion. And as we've already discussed, her skill fusion is not that great. It's just not. It's not that impactful. So why are we limiting skill fusions for old characters to be fully duped out when it does not matter for most of them? Like Light Shizu, her skill fusion is very good. Fine. Whatever. But if all of them were that good, maybe I could see a reason, but they're not. This Milim with 2 more units getting the light resistance down does not change the world. Does not make her an incredibly good unit for most scenarios, unlike that Light Shizu, unlike other characters. Space Rimuru, he got a pretty good skill fusion. He got the attack buff and he got ult resistance down, which is pretty impactful. So I could see that maybe being a very good version of a skill fusion, but then there are so many others that are just terrible. And the fact that you lock them behind the dupe wall, a maximum dupe wall, is actually straight up just ridiculous. Okay? It's just not okay. If you were a new player to start now, and you're like, oh, I pulled this Light Milim. Oh, she has a skill fusion. Oh, is that good? Oh, I don't know. Oh, I rerolled and I pulled Space Rimuru on my tutorial multi. I wish he was a bit better, because, he's 2 and some change years. He's like 2 years and 4 months old. Can't skill fuse him, though. Not until you wail out. Not until you pull dupes for him in another year or 2. Some people have been playing since day 1, they don't have Gazzle at all. So it's like the odds of you pulling Rimuru now, you have to specifically get him from specific packs or something before you can dupe him up. And then by the time you actually do that, his skill fusion's worthless because the power creep for the meta has just escalated. So I'm not a fan of the level 100 requirement of the skill fusions, and the easiest way to change that is just take it away. If you have a unit can be skill fused, cool. They can be level 80. They can be level 1. I don't care. None of the skill fusions realistically are so impactful that they have to be locked behind a dupe wall. And making old units better and available for new players is a lot nicer, because say you're a new player, you wail out because you wanted to, and you can clear everything and not this, but beat down battle, right? And Inferno 1 and 2 gives you these Omni Accords, which you need to do the skill fusions. Well, new players, they can't do anything with this shit. They're grinding an event, they're beating an event, and the reward is something they physically cannot use. That's not how you want this game to go. You want people who can beat hard stages to be rewarded with things they can actually use. And if you need to dupe level 100 these old characters just to be able to use this, then what's the fucking point? What's the point? There is no point. Why would you be incentivized to play this event, play these levels, when you can't use anything? This moat, can't use it till they're level 100. Omni Accords, can't use it till level 100. It's dumb, and I just get rid of the dupe wall for skill fusions. Alright, my next biggest issue is the not making challenge events permanent, right? We used to have tempered edges that dropped every month, and then after that month, they were always added in, and they're right here, right? We haven't had a new tempered edge stage since Light 3.0. That was New Year's of last year. This was the stage built for them. This is their version of beatdown battle. And then after that, we started getting beatdown battles, and you can see there's no tab for beatdown battles in here. You only get the one beatdown battle a month, and then it goes away. And then it gets rerun like 4 or 5 months later. But the problem with this, especially beatdown battles, is this is how you get the free-to-play character, right? You didn't need to beat Tempered Edge to get the free characters. You just got them for free because they were 4 stars. But now that they have upped the rarity of the free-to-play battle units, they now have a special stage where you get their dupes, and they have special shops where you buy the rest of their stuff. And I don't understand why they don't make these permanent. Because as a new player, I had Trya open for a specific reason. And that's because Trya is a very, very good free-to-play unit. She is the goddess of green orb changing, and this game really heavily favors green orbs. So if you need a substitution for a unit, Trya is a really good option for green teams. But if we look at it, we got her last month, December 12th to December 28th. She originally came out here, May 30th, right? So from May all the way until December, you were not able, the end of May to the end of December, you were not able to get Trya at all. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 metas, 5.5 almost, because this came at like the end of the Pretty Sparkle meta. 5.5 metas where you just could not get Trya. And now, like, we've never had a second rerun of a meta, right? The Gods of Destiny meta has, I don't know, the World of Fantasy rerun has never come back. Because the World of Fantasy happened on March 28th, came back on August, and then, we're still waiting to get their rerun. We're still waiting to get the Fount of Wisdom rerun. This, Fount of Wisdom came out late February, March, got reran in June, and we've never seen it since. So God knows when we're actually going to get a second rerun of these metas that have free-to-play units attached to them. And since Gods of Destiny just happened, even if we were to get a rerun, a second run, it'd be like another 6 months down the line. Like, why? Why do we need to wait so long for free-to-play welfare units to come back? Why can they not make beatdown battles, EX challenge quests, the old version of the Veldora stage? Because we currently have the Heavenly Conquest. This is just a higher HP version of the original New Year's challenge quest against Veldora. He just has double the HP. Like, why can't we have all these stages just permanent? The assets are already in the game. It's not like they use anything new, right? All the stages, all the character models, they're already in game. So it wouldn't like vastly increase the size of the game. I don't personally think it would, but I'm not a game developer. It might. That could be why. But at the same time, it's like, why can't we have beatdown battles available 24/7 for players who can, attempt to get the old free-to-play units, and for older players, when new units come out, they can take them into a beatdown stage where they could be used effectively besides their own. So like in 3 months, when we get, I don't know, maybe a unit just happens to be put on New Year's Blessing for some reason. I don't know why. Just follow, stay with me. It's like they're not going to work in that beatdown battle 3 months from now because they're not built for it. It'd be really cool if I could bring him back to this Diablo beatdown battle and try him out with the New Year's team, right? Well, too bad. We're not going to get a rerun for New Year's Blessing until probably next New Year's, probably, at this rate. Suck a dick. I don't know. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. That's what the devs are saying. So make another playlist. Make beatdown battles here. Put the old EX challenge quests in here, because it's not like they're difficult. And it's more things for players to do. It's more rewards for new players to farm up and test out units in other stages. And it's just improving the replayability of your game. Because personally, myself as a content creator, I'm a little upset when, units come out. Like, let's say Vengeance Veldora, right? He's on Otherworld Legend, Dragon Akai, and Warrior's Mind. Well, it was really cool when I could test him in the Warrior's Mind beatdown battle that happened when Otherworld Legend was active, right? That was really nice. I could test him on a separate team, not built for the current meta, but since he still fits on a different team, I could test him out there and see how well he held up and if he actually gave support and usefulness to the other team. I wish I could do that for, maybe not Yom, but let's say Blanc, right? She's on Visions of Coleus, Primal Demon, Fount of Wisdom. I would love to use her on all three of these teams where a beatdown battle is available. Fount of Wisdom against, what was it, like Rimuru or something like that? But I can't, because there's like the Chamber of Memory stage, sure, yeah, but that's highly limited. I can only bring certain units in there. I want freedom to build a team that happens to include Blanc on a Fount of Wisdom team. But I can't, because the Fount of Wisdom beatdown battle is not active. So I personally would like more places to test new units in, on other teams, and newer players want to be able to pick up the welfare units from previous months instead of having to wait 6-7 months for this Diablo to come back, 6-7 months for free-to-play Trya, or another one of the really, really good battle units from EX metas. I don't understand why it can't be such a thing. There's not much else I can say. It helps older players, it helps newer players. The easiest way to fix it, bring it all back. Make it permanent. Give me things to do. Even if the shops, buy them out, whatever. Make them all active. Make one big giant shop like the Flashback Bazaar has just all this free-to-play stuff. Just upgrade the Flashback Bazaar or something like that. Or, make all beatdown battle currencies from previous metas generic and put all of the beatdown stuff for the EX metas into its own shop, a beatdown flashback shop, and then you can buy whoever you want as far as free-to-play units. You could buy the shards, you could buy, maybe not the omnicords, but the skill enhancements. You just buy the dupe and the skill enhancement. That's the only thing in the shop. But for every single free-to-play character that's been released for an EX meta, from New Year's Blessing to Fount of Wisdom, like that seems to be very, very simple to do in my mind as a not developer. All right, my third and final thing that I want to talk about is the banner schedule. So if you're a newer player, you're watching this video because you're curious. Generally, what happens every month, every single month, is they release three main banners with brand new units. The first banner is always at least a double banner with a battle unit and a protector. During the half anniversaries and the full anniversaries, this is now a 3-unit banner, which is really good. So there's there's 2 battles and a protector unit, but only during those two times. Otherwise, it's always 1 battle, 1 protector. And then the next week is another battle banner with just 1 new unit. And then next week, with coming from this Milim, is going to be a 3rd banner with just another 1 single unit. I really, really, really wish they would just combine banners 2 and 3, just like they have this banner with 2 featured units. I wish they would take banner 2, banner 3, make it into a 1 banner, give it a 2-week gap, and then have 2 featured units on it. Because if we look at the schedule, right, we've got Xion and Rimuru, we got Milim, Carnation Shinsha is coming sometime in the next week or so. All right, I don't know why they can't just take both these banners and put them into one. They do it sometimes, like right here for Wielder of Magic. To lead up to the 2-year anniversary, Shinsha and Milim came out on the 28th, and then Shizu Hinata came out on the 13th. I think that's fine. It brings more value to each banner because there's now 2 featured units, and it makes it easier for players to acquire them, because if you have to pity one of them, unfortunate, 20 multis, but if you manage to pull Shizu off this, then you can just go to pity and pick Hinata, and then fine, you got the units. It took you 20 multis, yeah, that sucks, but at least you got both of them. The way it is right now, it's like, you may have to go 200 pity for Milim, you have to go 200 pity for Carnation Shinsha, you have to go 200 or 300 pity for Xion or Rimuru. That's so much pity, and the game does not give out that much currency to be able to do such things. Now, generally speaking, free-to-play players should only be summoning on high-value banners, which is generally limited to the first banner of every month, right, that has the 2 units, and then really, really waiting for, the anniversary or the half anniversaries when they have 3 featured units. Those are the things people should be waiting for because it's high value, because you get more bang for your buck when you're summoning. The prospect of 3 units instead of, 1 is, right? It's better, just straight up. And I don't really see a reason why they can't just split it into a 2 and 2. It makes their release schedule easier, probably, right? They just slam them both on the banner. They don't have to do a weekly update in between. And it gives people just the feeling of spending their money in a more consciously good way, instead of having to summon for Milim, who is trash, who summoned for Carnation Shinsha, who we don't know yet, but she may not be great, right? And then you put 2 not great units together, and it's like, okay, well, I know what I need to skip, and I know what I need to summon for, which is Xion and Rimuru, because they're pretty good. Or I need to summon for Rimuru and Mirai, or I need to summon for Violet, Valentine, and Rimuru, because then we still have, even during the 2-year anniversary, we still have 2 single-unit banners. If you combine Blanc and Jean on one banner, do you know how fucking crazy people would go? Oh, that'd be godly, right? Oh, it'd be great. But no, they don't. They put them on single banners, and the easiest way to remedy that is just to make them 1 banner. Put a 2-week gap. So Rimuru and Xion, they came out on December 28th right here, and then we can go a week, and then we could go another week, and then instead of putting Milim here, we just skip, and then when Shinsha comes out maybe on the 12th or 13th, that'll be another double banner. And then that'll run for the rest of the month, and the meta changes on the 25th, and that's another double banner. And then we go another week, and maybe on the 8th or 9th, that's a double banner, and then we go 2 weeks, and then it's a new banner. It's a new meta. Every 2 weeks, there could be a double banner, double featured unit banner. And I think that would make a lot of people happy, because it would mean a cut down on crystals spent. because the value of summoning on a double banner is much higher, and the odds of you pulling someone is nicer, and you can pity the other unit that you didn't happen to pull on the way to getting, both of them or whatever. But those are my three biggest issues with slime. Again, to briefly go over that. Take away the level 100 requirement for skill fusions. It's dumb. It doesn't help anybody. Most skill fusions, even the whales and the longtime players, they don't really do much with because they're not good enough to be run on mainline teams. So it's like, what are we really holding out for? So that's an issue. Second issue is making previous events, challenge events, especially beatdown battles, permanent. That way we have somewhere to test new units with older teams, and we have a way for newer players to be able to acquire the free-to-play battle units instead of having to wait 6 or 7 months to get them when they may or may not be good anymore. And then the third issue is turning these single banners into just a combined double banner. But those are my thoughts. I think these are easily fixable things. What do you think should happen as far as making this game more friendly for players? Everyone's going to say, give me more crystals. Yes, that's fine. It's a gacha game, though. They got to make money. They can't give away too much free shit. And to be on the dev side on this, they have begun becoming very generous with the amount of free giveaways they've been doing in their defense. It's not enough to, satisfy a lot of people, but I think it's more than what we've seen the past 2 years, which is always an improvement. But whatever else you think this game can fix that's, in your mind easily fixable and would bring good value, please put it in the comments and we'll try and change their minds over the next couple months. We know they listen. We know we have an impact on how they develop this game. So let's make an impact and make this game more fun for everyone to enjoy. But that's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.